Alright, today I'm setting up this guitar, the Abasi Concepts Larada Master Series 8. I'm going to go through my process of how I set up a guitar, from adjusting the truss rod, setting the string height, the action, and then doing the intonation. That's going to be the order of operations in which I'm going to do this. If you're changing guitar strings and setting up your guitar, do the strings first, and then do these steps. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by Abasi Concepts or any other brands mentioned or shown in this video. So I'm going to be using this guitar in some upcoming projects, and I need to get it set up. The seasons have changed, the neck has shifted, and so it's time to reset the action. The strings on this guitar are a bit higher up from the fretboard from the frets than I personally prefer. I do prefer a lower action. My fingers are pretty tired. And by the way, I'm not a professional guitar tech. I've been doing my own setups for some years now, and I've been doing what's been working for me, and I've been learning as I go. So if you have any tips for me, if there's things you do differently, be sure to comment down below. Hopefully the insight you can share can benefit other people too. So in diagnosing the problem, instead of just feeling that, okay, I need the action lower, is I can look here near the nut at the first fret, and I can see there's already some distance between fretting the note and the note actually contacting the fret. And then checking the action up here to see if the neck is bowing or if the strings are high, I take some measuring device right here. And then on the 14th fret is what I do. There's a few ways to do this, but what I do is I go to the 14th fret here and I measure the string height. And I prefer just extremely low action. If you prefer medium action or higher action, that's okay too. There are benefits and drawbacks to each: low action, medium action, high action, etc. But I check it down here at the 14th fret, and my ideal lowest action is 1 millimeter, which is extremely low. I can tolerate up to 1.5 millimeters, then 1.5 millimeters is a bit high for me. But I check at the high E string and I can say, okay, this guitar is at 1.5 millimeters, so I do need to lower this a bit. And then the low E string right here is also at 1.5 millimeters, so things are a bit weird on this guitar. Typically, your treble strings are lower down and your bass side strings are higher up. And then this is an 8th string, and then just measuring here, we see the 8th string is at 2 millimeters, in case you're curious. So first I need to adjust the truss rod. And this guitar has that kind of spokes wheel truss rod adjustment right here. Some guitars, they have them up here. Some guitars have the vintage style where the truss rod adjustment is actually on the side of the neck and you need to unscrew the neck. This is on bolt-on guitars, like vintage style Fenders. But this has the spokes kind of adjustment right here. So what I want to do to straighten out the neck a bit, because I see it's a bit high up here, is I want to tighten the spokes wheel right here, tighten the truss rod. So I'll take some kind of stiff object like this Allen key on this adjustment tool right here. And I'm going to find a hole right here and I'm going to tighten it just a little bit. Now I wouldn't recommend tightening it more than 1/4 of a turn, 1/8 of a turn, not too much at a time. Just don't be too quick too soon. And then if you need to tighten it more, just go ahead and do the same thing. And so you tighten it and then you check the adjustment up here. This is going to take a little bit more adjusting, but you can kind of feel the neck each way. And by the way, check it in the playing position, because that's how you're going to be playing it. I think due to physics and stuff, gravity does have an effect on how guitars feel, how guitars are set up, things like that. So do be sure to check the adjustments after each adjustment in the playing position. And you'll know you've gone too far is if you've gone ahead and adjust the truss rod, if you're tightening it and you play a note, if it's fretting out, if it's buzzing a lot, then you've gone too far and you're going to actually want to loosen it. You're going to want to back off. And you want to check those notes up the fretboard until at least the 12th fret bare minimum. But it pays to be thorough and go all the way. Alright, so once you've done that, you've adjusted the truss rod and it feels pretty good up here. We're going to want to go ahead and check the action again at the 14th fret. Again, this is what I do. If you do a different procedure that works for you, that's great. Be sure to comment down below. So now I'm going to check the string height here at the 14th fret. And already we're down from 1.5 millimeters to 1.25 millimeters. And then I'm playing the frets up here and there's no buzzing or anything like that. I'll go ahead and check the low, the 6th string. And I can see the action's also lower here too, so I'm going to check for any kind of buzzing or anything. And I do have some buzzing, so I might want to either leave it if I'm okay with the buzzing or raise it at the saddle if that's not okay. And if you have a 7th or 8th string, the same thing applies. And so to lower the string height on this particular guitar, there's individual saddles, and they've got the 2 little bolt screw things. I don't know what these are called, but they've got the 2 height adjustment kind of screws on either side of each saddle. So if you tighten them righty-tighty, then it actually raises the saddle. And if you loosen it, it actually lowers the saddle there. So for me, I'm going to want to loosen it or turn it in the loosening way to actually lower the saddle, the lefty-loosey, you know? And that'll lower the saddle. And I'm going to want to do those for the treble strings. I'm going to want to raise the bass side strings a little bit, and then I should be good to go there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take on this adjustment tool. There's this smaller size, and this is it's worn away. So I think this is a 1.5 millimeter width Allen key. Not sure though, the numbers have worn away on this, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn left, so counterclockwise on these adjustment screws. And so after you do that, you're going to want to check the higher frets specifically, but it helps to check the lower frets too. Make sure no notes are fretting out or anything, because then you've gone too low. And you can go ahead and do a little legato runs or stuff like that. Make sure it feels like you like it. It's okay if it feels too low, you can go ahead and raise it. We're setting it up for what works for you. And we're going to want to repeat the process for each string. And it's okay to do it just a little bit at a time for each string, just to make sure you're not going too high, too low. All right, so once you've done that, you've got your truss rod good so the neck isn't too bowed or too straight. You've got your string height good so you're not fretting out at any notes up here. What you want to do is then the final step is to set the intonation, and that's how far forward or back the saddles are. So what you want to do is you want to tune your guitar. You want to play an open note on the string you're intonating, and then you want to fret a note at the 12th fret. And if the fretted note is flat, the saddle actually needs to move towards the neck this way. And if the fretted note is sharp, you need to actually move the saddle back down towards the edge of the body here. And so when moving a saddle, it does then help if you detune the string just to loosen it so it's not pulling so much or putting pressure or whatever on the saddle. So on this guitar here in the saddles is actually the same size as these height adjustment, the Allen keys. So I think it's 1.5 millimeter. But again, the number on my tool has worn off. There's a little kind of screw thing in there too. So if you put this in and you turn it counterclockwise, that actually moves the saddle towards the neck. And if you turn it clockwise, so like to the right, that's going to move the saddle towards the edge of the body. So you want to go ahead and do that, tune up the string if you detuned it. So make sure the open string is in tune, and then check the fretted note at the 12th fret and see if that's in tune. And you're going to want to repeat this procedure for every string. And so once you do that, you're done. You've got your neck bow correct with the truss rod adjustment. You've got your action, your string height correct by raising or lowering the saddles after that. And then you've got your intonation correct. So as many fretted notes as possible are in tune, and the tuning will hold nicely. Your guitar should be set up now. So these steps work basically for every guitar. Of course, when it comes to things like bridges, they're going to be different. If Floyd Rose, they're going to have to do some different steps to set those up. Ibanez Low Pro, Ibanez Edge, etc. Are there any other bridges you'd like to see me set up? Be sure to comment down below. And of course, this is YouTube, so I have to say the YouTube things. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it. If you're looking for something cool to listen to, I'm on all streaming services. High Z Productions. I do some originals and some video game music covers. And hey, as always, peace.